my name is Brian De Oliveira. I'm the founder and creative director of Hacienda Interactive. Hacienda Interactive is a studio that's focused on interactive music and sound, and we've been around for over 12 years now, and we do work with companies all over the world, including Japan, the UK, and the US, and also South America.
Est-ce que votre entreprise est née de la transformation numérique ou si vous faisiez un travail équivalent auparavant?
Yeah, actually, it's very much with the way the city has grown digitally. We're probably the first studio, most likely the first studio in Canada to incorporate doing sound for video games in-house and being able to integrate the sounds directly into the game engines in-house and work with video game companies in sync remotely. So this was about 8 years ago that we started this process, and we've developed methodologies accordingly, and it's worked really well for us actually. And now because of that, we're working with clients all over the world, and we're getting nominations and awards quite often actually.
Alors, qu'est-ce qui est différent par rapport à l'ancienne méthode de travail? Il y avait déjà de la musique donc dans les jeux vidéo auparavant. Qu'est-ce qui est différent dans la nouvelle méthode de travail?
It's completely different. It's actually the methodology and state of mind is completely different. The base is still the same. You're still creating sounds to picture per se, but you're getting into nonlinear ways of thinking, of being able to get into a rabbit hole and then create the different possibilities of sound and music that goes along with the actions and what happens when you're not following a linear media and a linear kind of narrative in a sense. So we have to think of it in a very different way. We think of all the possibilities and then we create accordingly. And in a way we'll actually design an interactive music and sound system that we will work with accordingly to be able to make it the best experience possible within the interactive projects that we work in.
Est-ce qu'il y avait des entreprises déjà au Québec qui existaient dans les années 90 ou est-ce que c'est vraiment la stratégie d'attirer les entreprises productrices de jeux vidéo à la fin des années 90 qui a fait en sorte que les entreprises se sont créées ici?
Sorry, just to clarify the question, did this happen in the 1980s?
Dans les années 90, est-ce qu'il y avait des entreprises déjà qui se spécialisaient dans ce que vous offrez comme service, ici au Québec ou aussi?
No, there were not no businesses actually that were specialized in doing sound and music for video games specifically at all. This is definitely something new within the last, I would say, 15 years that it's really grown into what it is now. And going beyond, it's actually going to be even a lot bigger and a wider field because everything is going interactive at this point. It's not just about video games, it's the whole world around us. We're basically going to be surrounded in interactive music and sound and assets all the time.
Est-ce que vos liens d'affaires sont surtout avec les entreprises montréalaises ou si c'est avec les entreprises qui sont situées, pas nécessairement montréalaises, mais situées à Montréal ou si vous êtes capable de faire, vous faites découvrir votre studio à travers d'autres pays?
Actually, I would say about, depending on the time of the year, but between 50 and 80% of our work is outside of Montreal, actually. And the nice thing is that Montreal has been the creative ground, in a sense, for us to really develop our ideas, but we've been able to export it, and we're getting global recognition because of it.
De quelle manière vous imaginez cette interactivité-là? Durant un jeu vidéo, vous avez déjà une plateforme qui existe, donc il y a des choix que les joueurs font qui font en sorte, j'imagine, qu'il y a tels éléments musicaux qui sont proposés. Mais là, vous l'avez amené ailleurs tantôt dans votre réponse, on va être entouré d'une possibilité d'interaction de l'individu avec la musique. De quelle manière l'individu peut interagir justement dans le quotidien pour créer ces interactions-là, pour voir quels sont les choix qui sont possibles?
Well, we're looking already at many possibilities. Good examples are Google's voice recognition and also Alexa for Amazon. We're already starting to have small interactions That's one bit, but it's starting to come where with the next wave will be augmented reality and what's around us, and it will all be interactive elements that we will be using to basically get on with our daily lives and enjoy our lives as well. It's just going to be part of it. We don't even realize it at this point, but it's coming. It's a big wave. So actually, my business is based on constant research and development. So we're always changing our processes, always trying to better the way that we go about creating and also integrating sounds technically. So it's been a process, and every year there's gigantic leaps that we're doing. And because of it, we are getting global recognition, and there's a lot of clients that are coming to us from all over the world just to be able to work with us and have that special sound and service, let's call it that way.
Oui, parce que c'est un produit très précis, très de niche que vous proposez.
Oui. C'est tellement niche, mais en même temps, c'est pas beaucoup de monde qui fait ça dans le monde à ce niveau.
Tout à fait. Est-ce que vous utilisez des données sur les publics que vous allez rencontrer dans la création data sur, disons, par exemple, si vous créer de la musique pour un jeu vidéo, est-ce que vous allez utiliser des données sur les utilisateurs potentiels du jeu vidéo, par exemple, ou si...
Yeah. So a lot of our games actually have focus groups that actually play through the game, and we get feedback on a constant basis, and we have been able to change and grow because of that as well. And it's a continuous process. And once our games are out, yeah, we're seeing the reactions to the music and sound, and so far it's been very positive.
Okay, excellent.
Actually, in a sense, for what we do, we're specialized on interactive platforms. So it's just the normal linear platforms that play back. That doesn't really do so much for us, and we don't really work with those kinds of platforms. It's more let's say if you had interactive elements in the actual website, then we work with user interfaces if needs be, or we figure out an audio experience aspect to the interactions that are happening.
On m'a dit que vous êtes maintenant localisé dans les studios Victor. Je me suis dit, est-ce que c'est pas justement emblématique de la transformation de l'industrie de la musique, le fait que vous soyez situé là, où il y a eu au départ le pressage de vinyle, si je me trompe pas, ensuite un studio d'enregistrement d'albums classiques au Québec. Il y a plusieurs albums qui ont été très populaires, qui ont été enregistrés là. Puis maintenant, le studio a une fonction qui est devenue complètement différente. Est-ce que c'est pas emblématique justement de la transformation de l'industrie de la musique québécoise? Est-ce qu'il y a beaucoup d'artistes québécois aujourd'hui qui travaillent dans le sens que vous le faites dans votre entreprise? Est-ce que ça représente une partie importante des activités des artistes québécois?
Avec des artistes?
Oui.
So the thing is that these days the model of the recording studio as it is doesn't really work per se for the most part, because people record mostly at their homes, and it's not as cost effective as it can be for people that make a living for music. So we have devoted our efforts into doing project-based work, and it's worked really well. And for us, being in such a special space, such as the Studio Victor, it's a magical room. There's something intangible that happens when we're making music there. And that's a big part of what we do, because it's not just about the technology, it's also about taking the roots and using the real acoustic instruments. We have over 900 instruments in this room, and we make the music live, but with being able to enhance it and translate it using interactive media as the medium these days. Sorry, I'm going with this, but I'm just trying to put it into words because it's something that happens naturally for us. We're not really thinking about it. But yeah, the fact is that 50%, I would say, of our philosophy, or half of it, is rooted in being able to find the roots and being able to create sounds that are real and unique and tangible, not just doing stuff in the box, and then being able to take it and enhance it and translate it for mediums that are interactive. So there's two parts to the equation, we could call it. One is being able to draw from ancient traditions and hundreds of years of human evolution in creating music and sounds, and using the best of the instruments and cultures and realness that we get from that, and being able to translate it and harness it in interactive mediums. So the best of both worlds. People kind of get caught up in one or the other, and then they feel that one is separate from the other, whereas for us, we're actually fusing it together and taking the best from both worlds.
But how did people discover you? Because you're a jewel, right? You're in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to do all those prizes? Just because you managed this fusion?
Yeah.
You had no other strategy to make yourself known? No promotion?
Not really, no. No. So
Comment ça a commencé?
Mhm.
On pourrait y aller comme ça. Comment ça a commencé, le premier contrat, par exemple?
We did this one game, very small indie game called Papo Yo, and that was a work of art in a sense, and for me it was a very personal journey. The creator was this Colombian guy. He did it about his father, his alcoholic father that was abusive, and the childhood that lived with it. And I also expressed my childhood within it. And it was a big success, and the whole soundtrack was natural sound. I went to Panama, I recorded sounds there. I also did the whole soundtrack live, using unique instruments and even combining other instruments from India, from all over the world. And then we experimented and we pushed the boundaries of what we could do with all of these really organic and beautiful sounds, and really create interactive worlds and experiences that would guide the player in a way that it just felt seamless. And yeah, we got a lot of notice from that, and that was sort of the start of this new form of the studio, and it set the direction for the next 10 years that we're in. This is a decade later, basically.
D'accord. As-tu d'autres questions, Michel? Ouais,
Est-ce que j'ai une autre question? Est-ce que vous pensez qu'il y a des gens qui travaillent, parce que votre succès commence à être très connu, donc vous remportez des prix, est-ce que d'autres personnes, d'autres entreprises qui semblent aller, est-ce que c'est le futur, est-ce qu'on vous regarde, on regarde votre entreprise, c'est le futur de l'interactivité à travers les arts? Est-ce que vous voyez comme vous tracez la route pour les autres? Est-ce qu'il y a déjà des autres qui sont là?
I think we're definitely creating a new path. The one thing for me that's been very important is being able to have real artistic expression built into what we do. Not just creating ready-to-made order assets and things for clients. It's actually everybody that works in the studio, they're personally invested. We're creating art for ourselves, but we're able to use these interactive mediums as our canvases. And the the amazing thing about this is that they're actually a lot more open to this kind of creativity than other mediums. So we've been able to carve our niche and be able to have the best of both worlds.
What do you say to people that say that e-games are not cultural products?
I think video games have gone a lot further than we ever imagined, and I'm a personal witness to this, that it can be a very powerful medium for personal expression, and we're only scratching the surface of it, and it's going to continue to grow. And in essence, this is where the whole world is going to go. We are going to be, no matter what, our world is going to be interactive. In a sense, what's happening in games is going to happen to us in the real world as well, as we progress in the next few decades.
Où est-ce que vous voyez votre entreprise, justement, dans 10 ans?
That's an interesting question. To continue from my conversation, I want to be able to take what we're doing in video games and apply it to the real world. So we would love to be working in real spaces and creating these interactive experiences, guiding, using sound and creating audio user experiences within real world experiences, whether it's simple things like something commercial like a shopping mall or transportation, or even in your home when you want to come in and have your own customized experience where you're able to walk in and have things reacting, have sounds reacting, so that you are able to not be always stuck in having to be in reactive mode. It's something that's interesting, because by having interactivity, we're actually going back to the way the world used to be, where nature used to react to us. There was an ebb and flow that would happen, and I think we're going to be able to do this in the future, and sound is actually especially useful for that. So there's this kind of view that video games are just somebody playing with a console with a controller, and actually that is changing very quickly. The way we interact, the communities of gamers, in a sense we've all become gamers by using these. Everybody is interacting with some kind of game or interactive medium. And even beyond this is when we lose the devices and it's going to be just visual, we're going to be basically just interacting with our emotions and with our voices and with our sight and reactions as well. So basically we are all already inside of it. We just don't realize it, but we are part of that community. And there might be people that prefer one way of interacting compared to others, but it's all the same thing when it comes down to it. An amazing thing would be that they're able to encourage development in being able to precisely take technology and being able to make it something that brings people together and communities together rather than isolating. And that's just a simple thing, a state of mind, actually, and just being aware of it and then being able to design policy accordingly.
Mais à travers le développement de votre entreprise, est-ce qu'il y a eu des moments où des politiques de l'État ont été utiles? Des aides gouvernementales ou des politiques du gouvernement qui ont pu être utiles pour le développement de votre entreprise?
So we don't actually get direct money because we're in a sort of a strange niche, because we do work with interactive, but because we're not creating the IPs ourselves, we're not able to directly access that. But we do benefit with working with our clients, that they're basically are getting those benefits. So yeah, inadvertently not directly, but we do have a benefit from that. And it's the reason that we were able to do a lot of the projects that are more art, let's call it, rather than commercial based, and it's what's allowed us to grow and develop what we do and be able to take it to a world stage.
Puis, est-ce que l'État pourrait faire quelque chose pour vous aider, ou simplement vous en avez pas besoin directement? Déjà avec les aides qui existent pour les producteurs de jeux vidéo, c'est suffisant? Ou...
I think the audio and music industries, especially specifically with what we're doing music and sound for interactive mediums, it's something that's not even been thought of or taken into consideration. And actually, I think they could take a serious look at it, and it would make a massive difference if there were specific incentives for companies like us.